it with the time period of the Buddha um, by the clerk turned sage Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was a records keeper in the state of Zhou, um, which was a ducal state within the kingdom or empire of China. And this is before the Warring States period, uh, actually, right as the build up to the Warring States period started. Lao Tzu is reputed to have been leaving China on the back of a water buffalo for the wilderness and wrote down his beliefs, which we'll discuss further in a bit, before going into the mountains, which is a sacred thing within Taoism. He is believed by Taoists today to either be the Buddha or Mani. Mani is part of the Zoroastrian splinter group Monarchism. Um, and not all Taoists, just many do. And this was during the time of Confucianism's rise, though Lao Tzu is believed traditionally to have been Confucius's teacher. For a while, Taoism was largely a philosophy, though by the 4th century CE, it started to gain the trappings of religion, specifically deities, scriptures, and clergy and monasticism. So, similarly to Buddhism and Hinduism, Taoism doesn't really have a central overarching orthodoxy. However, it's not much of an orthopraxy religion either. Uh, However, Taoists believe that everything needs balance, seen in the belief in trying to become one with the Tao or the Way, to kind of balance the yin and yang, the light and the dark, the chaotic and the orderly. This is done by trying to go with the flow, for lack of a better term. Um, what this means is that the way society tries to maintain order goes against what makes people flourish by molding people to societal norms. So the argument is that the natural way for people to flourish is to do what is natural for them. This includes respecting and being one with nature, and part of this is accepting and relishing change that naturally happens. Um, there's a tradition of being like wanderers within Taoism, and as opposed to Judaism, wandering is actually a great thing. Um, Taoists also don't really have a concept of an afterlife, rather focusing on having the best, on living the best life while alive. However, there's a concept of bodily immortality, which is something that we'll talk about in a bit. In the 4th century CE, when Taoists were collecting sacred texts and Taoism was starting to become a religion, um, the Taoists came up with a canon that included around 1,200 different texts. The two most important are the Tao Te Ching and the Zhuangzi. Uh, these are a mix of philosophy and spiritual texts, focusing on going against societal norms at the time and flowing with the ever-changing natural world. The difference comes with how these two texts present their ideas. The Tao Te Ching, reputed to have been written by Lao Tzu as he was stopped at the border while leaving China, uses metaphors. And I listened to the Tao Te Ching on audiobook. I can say that it uses a lot of metaphors. And then the Zhuangzi, written by Zhuangzi, a student of Lao Tzu and a well-known thinker at the time, utilizes allegory. So kind of like how Jesus utilizes parables, although different religions and things of that nature. So today there are two main forms of Taoism. We have Celestial Masters and Complete Perfection. Celestial Masters, which is currently known as the Way of Orthodox Unity, was founded in the 2nd century CE by Zhang Daoling after receiving a revelation from Lord Lao, who is a deified incarnation of Lao Tzu, combined with the Tao. Zhang wrote a commentary on the Tao Te Ching, which became his sect's holy book, and argued that personal virtue and giving vegetable offerings instead of blood sacrifice were a means to be granted a long life, or in some cases, bodily immortality. Additionally, the Tao, when combined with Lao Tzu, made the Tao a much more personal uh, 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 thing and spurred the inclusion of traditional Chinese deities into Taoist traditions. Currently, most celestial master adherents live in Taiwan uh, after fleeing with the nationalist Chinese government, and are led by a Taoist pope, who is a celestial master. And this is a hereditary position within the male among male priests. And this is despite the fact that most other priestly positions are not hereditary, and it also includes female clergy, priests specifically. Um, on the other hand, complete perfection was founded in the 12th century CE when Wang Zhongyang received a revelation from two immortals, who were kind of like deities within Taoism, and that led him to synthesize Taoism at the time, Chan or Zen Buddhism, Neo-Confucianism, and asceticism. This form of Taoism focuses on more meditative and self-cultivation means, as well as simplicity, to flourish in this life, and rejects means to achieve bodily immortality. This is a largely monastic and celibate religion and is state sanctioned by the PRC. So it is on the mainland and mostly in the north, whereas Celestial is mostly on Taiwan or in the south. So Taoism today, the number of Taoist adherents are kind of difficult to pin down. Before Deng Xiaoping made Taoism one of the five recognized religions, along with Buddhism, Protestantism, Catholicism, and Islam, Taoism had seen several centuries of repression after being seen as an anti-science, mystical, and deviant belief system. Currently, the number is estimated to be 50 to 100 million, depending on who is counting, and that is mostly counting people who go to religious festivals or visit temples. Um, Though we do know for certain that there are Taoist priests being ordained today, and their numbers are really the only thing that we know for sure. And I've read estimates of about 8 million. Um, the majority of adherents are found in China and Taiwan, though through the Chinese diaspora and the nature of the belief system, which became fairly popular with beatniks and hippies, it is allowed Taoism to take root in the West. So next week I'll go on to Confucianism, and after this, the shortest video in this mini series will be on atheism. This is Josh with Cultural Catholic signing off.